Hi everybody, it's Tuesday, May 11th, 2010. Thanks for stopping by. This is my daily video for Honeyspur because she said she would like me to make a video every day. So okay, I'm going to try to make a video every day. Maybe not the best video, okay, but I will give you something every day. So what I'd like to talk about today is still Thunderfoot and his flock of sheep. Because let's face it, there's just so much to talk about here. It's really interesting, and actually I'm enjoying it because it's really bringing people out of the woodwork. People are expressing their true views, expressing their true prejudices and hatreds and bigotries, and I love it. Somebody just yesterday told me that he hated Muslims and hated Jews almost as bad. And I told that person, you know what? I can respect you for actually telling me that, because I run across so many people who make racist comments and then swear up and down that they're not a racist. You just go ahead and spill the beans. You know, I don't like people like that, but I can respect them. I have no sympathy and no respect whatsoever for bigots who will try to tell me that they're not bigots because their prejudice is not based on race, which is a dubious concept to begin with, but is based on some other arbitrary categorization of people. Yeah, you're so much better. Okay, so, and then on top of that, they actually are racist to begin with. They just won't admit it. Now, I have no respect for that whatsoever. And I have no respect for people who will argue that up is down and down is up. You know, when Thunderfoot said that, you know, we're going to destroy you if you screw with us, your existence is a gift. For somebody to sit there and tell me that that's not a threat, I got no respect for you. I mean, I'm not even interested in talking to you at that point, because that's just ridiculous. You know, let's argue about whether the earth is flat. Why don't we? So, first of all, I'd like to say that I will never again refer to Thunderfoot as Thunderfoot. For me, Thunderfoot is Thunderfool. I will always call Thunderfool Thunderfool because that's what he is. He's a big thunderous fool. He's making a fool out of himself. And he is followed by the flock of sheep, hereafter referred to as the Thunderflock. So Thunderfool and his Thunderflock are going around proclaiming national days to mock people with, you know, who don't share their lack of religion, and especially Muslims. But they're not bigots, they're not racist, they're not religious bigots either. They just happen to hate all religious people, especially Muslims. Okay, so what they've been doing now, and I talked to some of the Thunderflock just yesterday, and you know, the thing that really jumped out at me, besides the obscenity of their language and the just abject childishness of what they were trying to tell me, and the thuggishness as well. And these are some internet badasses, folks. These are people, these are big men with keyboards, okay? Move aside, they're coming through, they're going to tell you what a pussy you are. Anonymously. Very impressive. Very impressive. You know, as if women were somehow a bad thing. You know, or as if you being supposedly a wimp means that they're right. You know, and that their hatred is justified. So these internet badass sheep are telling me, you know, how much more of a man they are than me. You know, probably 8-year-old kids, so maybe I shouldn't be so hard on them, because they really acted like schoolboys. And they were telling me about how Muhammad was a pedophile. And you know, this is just one of those things that people like to say. And they were saying, okay, he married Aisha when she was 8. Then they said 6. Then they said 7. Then they said he, consummated the marriage at 10. Then they said 9. So these people really know what they're talking about. And they were saying all these things, and I was saying, well, that's what people did back then. They married younger than they do now. They married young girls. There wasn't, that wasn't seen as something that was some sort of deviation. And so they're judging Muhammad by these social norms that never existed until, say, the 20th century. And they're condemning him on that basis, but they don't condemn anybody else, notice. They're not saying that everybody born before 1900 who married young girls or young boys, and by the way, Muhammad was pretty young himself when he was married the first time, they don't condemn that. They don't condemn everybody, but they condemn Muhammad especially. So when I started, just logically rebutting their hysterical claims about Muhammad, they said suddenly that I was a Muslim apologist. Hold the phone. I didn't know we were talking about Muslims. I thought we were talking about Muhammad. And therein is the point to what they're saying. They're not talking about Muhammad. They're talking about Muslims. When they say Muhammad was a pedophile and a murderer and a rapist and a genocidal lunatic, they're not talking about Muhammad at all. They're really talking about every single Muslim in the world. And here is their logic. Okay, if I think that Muhammad was some blood-drenched monster pedophile, that's the only valid interpretation. Nobody could disagree with that. So if Muslims do not immediately denounce their own religion, that means they are pedophiles. And that means they are blood-drenched monsters too, because they follow Muhammad because he's a pedophile and a blood-drenched monster. And that's what he is because I say so. And my opinion is the only opinion that matters. And you see this all the time when these people talk to Muslims. I mean, they basically interpret the religion of the Muslims for them, and they tell them, if they disagree, that they don't understand their own beliefs. Imagine that. Now imagine if I was to tell you what you believe, and if you disagree with me, I could just tell you, well, you don't understand yourself as well as I do, because I read your Bible. And my interpretation is the only valid interpretation. That's basically what these people are saying. And they're exposing themselves because, when they talk about drawing Muhammad, they don't say, yay, free speech, let's draw Muhammad. They say, those damn dirty sand niggers, let's draw Muhammad. I mean, that's what they're saying. They're using all these racial slurs. They're using hateful language, and then they're saying, well, the Muslims have gone too far, let's draw Muhammad. And so, you could just look. Now, don't take my word for it. Just go to Thunderfools channel and look at what the Thunderflock is bleeding. They are bleeding about Muslims nonstop. Not bleeding about freedom. I mean, every once in a while it comes up. But mostly it's about how horrible the Muslims are, and let's see if we can provoke them. And let's see if we can insult them and slander them. And, I tend to think, okay, now Thunderfool is standing on his soapbox, and he's using, and Symbolic, my good friend Symbolic has noticed this as well, he's using appeals to emotion almost exclusively. He's not appealing to logic at all. He's using this grandiose, hyperbolic rhetoric, which appeals to your gut and appeals to emotion and appeals to fear and appeals to this sense of outrage over being wronged by these powerful Muslim overlords who are telling you what to say and do and not to draw cartoons. And he's making these Hitler-like speeches. And so all of the Thunderflock are just standing there, stiffening up their arms, and they're acting like the thought police. They're acting like suddenly it's their job to tell people what to believe. Thanks for watching.